Hi, welcome back to another SUPboarder review. My name's Ruben, and this week we're going to be looking at the JP Australia Surf Slate 810. This is a completely new shape board for 2018. Before, the Surf Slate in 2016-17 had a very different profile to this, and this is also a new size board. The 810 is the biggest board in the range, and the specifications for this board are 8'10" long, 31 inches wide, 4.5 inches thick, gives it a volume of 147 litres. It weighs 9.6 kilograms and it comes with 5 FCS boxes, but comes as standard in a thruster setup, and it retails at £1,449. This Surf Slate is finished off in the WE, which is the wood edition. The construction of that board, it's an EPS foam core, glass layers on top of that, wood veneer giving the deck extra strength, and it's finished off with their volcanic basalt rails, which we reviewed another board before, the Fusion review, the 9.8 Fusion. The rails came out great in that. That's where they have that anti-chip resistant, which is 100% made out of volcanic rock somehow. Other features you have on the board, obviously you've got the standard stuff like the deep recessed carry handle. All the JPs come with a windsurf attachment, which is nice if you want to put a windsurf rig on it. It's got your pressure valve built in at the front there. Nice big deck pad, diamond grippy, very comfy. This year as well, all of the boards, the surf range boards, the raised arch pad for your foot here, which is a really nice feature, and a large kicker for you to ram your foot against. Finished off with the orange, silver and wood graphics. Pretty cool JP standout styling. But the big difference this year compared to last year's board is the outline profile. Last year's board was a little bit more parallel in the outline, a much bigger swallowtail at the bottom of the board and slightly squared off more at the nose. This year's board is a little bit more pulled in up at the nose, more rounded at the nose, and obviously a bit more pulled in at the tail. They've lost the swallowtail, making it more of a rounded tail shape. The bottom of the board also, they've got rid of the channels, as last year they had the channels on the board as well. Now when it comes to performance of bigger boards, especially the sort of stubby nose shaped boards, sometimes boards can lose their way a little bit because of the width of the overall tail shape. But by JP having a more pulled in tail shape than the last year's Surf Slate with the squarer tail shape and the swallowtail, it does produce a bit more performance on the bottom turn and the top turn. The board isn't super radical, it's not a full on laid back super carvy board, but then it is a big board at 147 litres. The plus side for that, it gives you a large stable area for standing on, so when you're paddling out back, the board is very easy to get out over waves, and also when you're paddling in choppy conditions, because the width up at the nose and the tail does give you a large stable platform for standing on. And also when you're on a wave, it does seem to catch the waves relatively early. You have got to keep your paddle strokes up to catch and get down the wave, but when you keep paddling and you have that glide and momentum, the board does keep moving, so you can catch the waves fairly early if you keep your paddle strokes up. The general speed of the board is actually pretty quick for the size, and it will hold you to the wave face quite nicely if you are charging down that faster wave. Now the board isn't a super aggressive top turning board, and that mainly could be due to the slightly softness in the rails here. The rail shape is slightly smooth, gives it a nice amount of grip on the turn, but it's not that fast and drivey, so a little bit slower off the turns. But then this is a big board at 147 litres. If we turn the board over and look at the bottom shape, the rocker line, which is the curve from front to back, isn't really dramatic. Small amount of rocker on the nose, flat-ish midsection with a small amount of tail kick, which makes the board really quite quick on the wave. The bottom shape from widthways up at the front there has a small concave which starts up at the nose, but as soon as you get back to the midsection, that concave gets very drawn out, just a single concave, so it's a deep depression in the middle of the board, and that's holding the water and forcing it back towards the fins. And then just in front of the fins, again, the single concave carries on in the middle of the board. Maybe that's why when you're paddling on the waves early and you get your paddle strokes in, the board just keeps going and pushes the water back towards the tail, which keeps you on those waves and gets you on the waves relatively early for its size. So looking at the fin setup, we can see it comes with a 5 fin box configuration, all FCS boxes, but it comes as standard with a thruster setup, and that is with their JP R7 fins. That is at 12 centimeter fins, all round the same size. Nice fin, honeycomb, very stiff, very light, and have a nice profile to them. Used them in lots of other board reviews and they all come across quite nicely. Definitely running the board in a thruster setup makes it way more pivoty off the top turn and being able to redirect the board quicker than it would do if it was a quad setup. Other things that are worth noting, the weight of the board is generally really nice. I like the feel of that, and also, as we said in other video, the volcanic basalt rails really good. We've had a few knocks on this board, but you cannot see anything on it. There's just general paddle marks. So the wear and tear and construction of this board gets a big thumbs up from us. So do we think the 810 will best suit? Well, definitely rider weights. You're going to be 80 kilograms to 95 kilograms, maybe a little bit more if you're better on your footwork and you're a more experienced surfer. Ability wise, you could start maybe not your first SUP surfing board if you were lighter, but it's sort of a good intermediate step down board. It's a very easy board to use on the wave, very fast and very stable underfoot. So pros and cons and value for money. Well, the pros, definitely the shape of the board makes the board very easy to use, easy to paddle out over the waves, and actually easy to stand on and ride a wave and get used to riding a wide range of waves. And also the construction of the board is pretty tough too. And cons, well, the fins are nice, well made, good shape fins, but if you're in the 80 to 95 kilograms, which is who we recommend it for, you're probably better off getting a slightly bigger back center fin, especially if the waves are a little bit bigger. Smaller waves, it's not really an issue, but when it gets bigger, you do have to push a bit harder on your bottom turn, and if you're a bit heavier, you're going to have to upgrade that fin to give you a bit more drive and grip. And value for money, well, you guys can probably judge it yourself. It is £1,449. It's definitely the right price point of the market, not the cheapest and not the most expensive. Because of the construction and the board shape, it does sit at an averagely good value for money on the market. Hope you found that SUPboarder review interesting and informative. If you want to find out more about it and we go into a bit more depth, check out the SUPboarder Pro video of this video. Until next time, we'll see you on SUPboarder Mag or on YouTube. Thanks a lot.